Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. In this review, we are going to be discussing the books that came out of DC Comics for the week of May 7th, 2014, the first week of May. We got a small stack this week, but that's bad, because you know what that means for things to come in the coming weeks. A bigger one. This week we have two weekly series. The second weekly series has begun. We will be talking about that, both of us. Well, let's not talk about the stack. Let's actually talk. Let's do the stack. Right. First book is Batwing issue 31. Goodbye, Batwing issue 31. I'm sorry, I'm done. Guys, I tried to read through this issue. I just don't... I'm not feeling this story arc anymore. I feel very bad for what's going on with Luke. But in my opinion, I really just don't feel Batwing anymore. And not only that, I'm getting now Detective Comics. I'm getting Batman Eternal. And there's so many Batman books I'm getting that I think because Batwing kind of fell prey to the events that were going on in Batman, and not once but twice, 0 Year and everything, it just, and then Gothtopia with Detective Comics, it just...
So it's something you could care less about.
I really could, but the artwork in the book is pretty good. I will show that really quickly. The story just doesn't hold me. I wish I could tell you guys. It's Luke versus his old friend, and he beats the crap out of his old friend, and his friend still comes back from war. His sister's completely brain dead now. His little sister is somewhere out there, and he has to find her. And it's a story that just doesn't hold me personally anymore. It was holding me for a while, but I just don't feel it anymore. So, before things get any worse, I'm just going to let go of the series for now. Will I return to Batwing someday? You never know when story arcs change. Things can happen. Green Lantern issue 31. Uprising Part 1. Part 2 comes out next week with Green Lantern Corps. The weird thing is I actually enjoyed this issue.
Really?
I feel like it picked up a little bit from where it was. It's slowly pulling itself out of the mud, so to speak. The writers are finally getting their bearings, I feel, in this series. Basically, Hal Jordan is finally just taking everything in that's happened that's been negative and is turning it positive. Tomatu and the others that don't want to use their rings anymore, he's like, fine, you don't want to use your rings anymore? You don't have to. As a matter of fact, you can work... He gets the ship from the last issue. He's like, you know what? You don't want to use your rings? Take the ship apart. Learn everything you can from it. And Tomatu's like, I used to be, my father died for the Corps, and I rate better than what you want. And he's like, you know what? You're a veteran Lantern. You're smart, experienced. And he's like, I need you to figure this out. You would know more than me. So Hal basically takes the ones that won't use their rings and puts them to work for something good with the Corps. And still, things are setting up for the Corps. You see that they mentioned that Saranic is missing, and they actually push you to go check out Sinestro issue 1 because she's in there right now. It was really good. And then the Mogo gets attacked, or there's like a huge fleet of ships coming towards Mogo, and it's the Durlans and the what are they called? I forgot what the other ones are called. But basically everybody who the Lantern's pissed off show up. And Hal's like, listen, come down to the planet, let's talk, and let's work this out. And actually the Durlans that were hiding within the Green Lantern ranks make their faces known finally. And all hell is just breaking loose finally, and you know what? Hal gets literally squashed into a corner, and then he just snaps finally. He's like, you know what? I'm through being on my heels. And the artwork's really good. He just snaps. He's like, you know what? I'm done. Let's do this. And he takes out the Durlans. He's like, you know what? You may look like them. You may sound like them. You may have the same makeout as them. You may even have their rings. But the one thing you don't have is their will. And one by one, the Lanterns take out the Durlans. And actually, because of that, the head Durlans who are leading the fleets against the Green Lanterns actually says, you know what? We have to flee because our spies have been found out, and they're going to see that it wasn't really the Green Lanterns, that we were involved somehow. So they all retreat. However, now all the rings from the Durlands that were taken out, who were the imposters, are now going to find their real owners. And Hal, I think, is going to be on the tails of those rings to make sure that they get back to their rightful owners. This book definitely picked up a bit. I'm looking forward to the next issue to see if it picks up even more. Finally, I'm kind of interested again. I mean, I'm not super interested like back when Jeff Johns was on it, but at least now I feel like they've kind of got their bearings and things are kind of starting to work their way up from where they were. Batman Detective Comics, Icarus Part 2. Icarus is now back on the streets. Icarus is a type of drug. And in the last issue we saw, I forgot the woman's name, but she was at Bruce's doorstep and she died. She was burning from the inside out. Do I have her name? No, we don't actually have.
What does she look like? Cassandra Crowe? No?
I'm trying to find out what her name was.
Elena Wheeler?
There you go, thank you. Elena. She died. We have Bruce who goes back as Batman and actually studies the crime scene. I love how they actually did that. And he finds out that she was, of course, forcefully drugged, and she was dead from the moment the drugs were in her system. You have Bullock, who's looking to pin it on Bruce. This is obviously taking place around the same time as Batman Eternal, because here Bullock actually mentions that Gordon's in jail. Batman goes undercover to try to figure out where, what's going on, and tries to get his hands on some Icarus. He gets shot. So apparently Icarus isn't on the streets yet, but there's something really big going on with it. And he places a tracker on the person who says he can get him some and ends up shooting him, or trying to shoot him. What's his name? The congressman is trying to motivate Bruce Wayne not to build on the waterfront like he was originally planning. That doesn't go so well. Or at least we don't know for sure. We have Elena's daughter who looks like she's getting mixed up in things. We have Batman still looking at the people trafficking. We get a fight between him and this guy called the Sumo, I believe.
Well, he looks like a sumo.
I believe his name is the Sumo. But he has the Icarus thing tattooed on his stomach. Fight scene was really good. So Batman finds out about who had Elena drugged. And apparently people are tailing Batman. And then the last page I leave up to you guys. Detective Comics definitely picked up with Francis Manapul and Brian Buccellato on the book. I'm enjoying the team working with Batman, and I'm glad that it's something that's outside of Eternal. It's something outside of Zero Year. It's actually a Batman story, which right now, I mean, Eternal is a Batman story, but it's a gigantic event. Zero Year is kind of an event going on with Batman. So it's kind of nice to just get a straight-up Batman story. I mean, I'm tired of Zero Year already, and we have to live through it for another couple of months. And Batman Eternal, like I said, is a huge thing that's going to impact everything Batman. A year from now, we're going to see how much it's going to impact Batman. But I'm enjoying Detective Comics for what it's worth. It's up to you guys. It is a $3.99 a book because of basically the title. But I think it's worth it. It's up to you guys.
Yep.
You're next.
The Fam Stranger issue number 19. And this is where Madame Xanadu actually makes an appearance in this book. I'm wondering why she's not with the Justice League Dark team all the time. Like, I've noticed she's just been in this comic book. So, basically, it starts off where Angel Zorel is not feeling so well, basically, from what happened last issue. The artwork's, like, really amazing. And they're just trying to find out, like, what's wrong with him. And Fam Stranger's just going to go and find out, what's going on and everything, especially with what's going on with Cassandra Croft. So he goes to her Instant Karma bookstore, and Madame Xanadu is there also, and I'll give you a little artwork about Madame Xanadu. And they both meet up with Cassandra Croft, and things are going to be very, very, like, she uses her powers and everything, and you know, and he tries to command him. And Philip Stark, actually, I like this page where they show, they call him like the Sin Eater, and if you want to read about that, you can. I think they're going to have like a big war that's going to be for Fam Stranger. And basically it's just a whole fight scene against Cassandra Croft and Fam Stranger trying to, you know, release the spirit that's from her. Angel Zorel looks like that he didn't make it, so to say, which he'll probably come back to life. I mean, he's an angel, so who knows. So Fam Stranger does this secret spell to actually get there. And here's what's really getting annoying now. And this has happened like twice. He meets up with the Spectre. Like, seriously, DC, how many times does he have to meet with the Spectre? It's like saying, what does he want now? And from what it looks like, it seems like heaven and earth are about to collide and stuff like that.
Well, it could be what's happening with Angel Zorel.
It could be maybe what happens with that, but I don't know why the Spectre has to be involved. I mean,
I get involved.
But I have to admit, though, with Fam Stranger and Man Xanadu, they actually work together. He should actually join with the Justice League Dark team, Fam Stranger. That's just my opinion, but...
Earth 2, issue number 23. I've been waiting for this. Last issue, Superman, Clark Kent Superman, finds out that Lois Lane is Red Tornado. He believes Lois Lane is dead. He believed Lois Lane is dead. He's like, you weren't supposed to see me this way. And he's like, if this is a trick, and... Of course, Lois is like, no, it's not a trick, and she just basically asked Superman to take her away from there, leaving Val and Hawkgirl to like billions of parademons. I want to try to get a good picture. I'll get it towards the middle. So, Green Lantern shows back up again, and he's there to help Val and Hawkgirl fight the parademons. They all go back to the Batcave anyway, and basically Red Tornado is still connected to Jimmy, because remember, Lois, aka Red Tornado, is a computer, so she can, he can see through her. So apparently, Clark already reconnected with his mom and dad, and he mentioned that Lois is alive, and you could tell that the Kents are kind of not exactly 100% comfortable with Clark. Even when Lois asks Martha, "Are you okay, Martha?" she's like, "We're fine, really," and it's like, you know she's not. And then Superman sends, what's his name? Bedlam orders to attack the Batcave. And Batman and the others want to retreat to Themyscira. Green Lantern's pissed off at them and he doesn't want to retreat. He wants to fight them off because the Earth wants revenge. This happens. And then I really don't want to give too much away about the ending because that kind of takes too much away. But I did like when Dr. Fate says to Red Arrow, "You're not in our future." He's like, what? And then, like, a couple of panels later, he gets bit, and they think he's dead. I don't think he's really dead yet, but... yeah, I'm leaving the ending out. Earth 2 has been an amazing book, and the third weekly series was mentioned to be connecting to Earth 2. It's going to be World's End. So, in October, we will not only have Batman Eternal continuing, we will not only have Future's End, we will now have World's End as well. And I believe, my prediction is by the end of World's End, Earth 2 superheroes are going to move over to the DC Universe's Earth, and they're basically going to become the Justice Society, or Earth 2 will somehow survive, Power Girl and Huntress will stay there, and still, Earth 2 will end, and the Justice Society
There's
comic
so
will
many
begin.
scenarios that could go either direction.
It could go in many directions.
Or many directions.
This is DC Comics, after all.
Yep. Flat out book of the week is going to Green Arrow number 51. The Outsize War still continues in book 6, Spoils of War. From what we saw in the last issue, Green Arrow's father, Richard, is when he got the arrow towards the chest, he doesn't actually make it that well. Meanwhile, Katana is fighting against, what was her name again?
Komodo? No.
No, not Komodo, this one right here.
Onyx?
Lady Onyx, yeah. And here's some artwork I want to show you, which is, like, excellent each and every time I read this comic book. And, meanwhile, Amiko talks to Shado, and Shado's like saying how Komodo lied to her about everything, and she wants to just kill Komodo, Amiko. And Green Arrow and Komodo meet for the umpteenth time, and they have this amazing battle with each other. And meanwhile, Komodo gets shot by the arrow, and Amiko was the one that actually did it, and I actually saw her coming for some odd reason. So as Katana and Lady Onyx are fighting each other, turns out that one of them won. If you want to see what happens, you could definitely read the comic book. And there's just a whole big thing of like Green Arrow's like saying, you know, like we did all this for nothing, you know, just more death. Like he doesn't want to accept that he wants to bring people to justice rather than killing people. And they're trying to say, you know, it's for the reason, and they came for that one arrow that they were looking for, and you know, Green Arrow just snaps in half and just saying, you know, that he's gonna put everything behind him and everything. He's just going home. Meanwhile, Henry, Piff, Naomi, and Diggle go to meet with Talkman, and oh, I am not giving away the ending. I cannot.
Next story arc looks interesting.
Yeah, I cannot give away the ending. If you want to know what happened in the end, oh man, you have got to read this book. Because I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to reading the next issue, and I wish it was out now, because an ending like that, just everything about this book is Book of the Week, so definitely check it out. High recommendation.
Batman Eternal issue 5. Vicky Vale is asking questions she shouldn't be asking, namely about Carmine Falcone. Red Robin figures out that this flu that's going around Gotham, the one that the kids from Professor Pig, that Professor Pig didn't get them sick, that they were already sick. But with what? It turns out that Red Robin finds out there are nanobots in their system. And of course also Harper is going out to try to figure out what's going on as well. Batman shows up, and that's where Red Robin explains to him about it's not really a flu, it's some type of a nanobug, and he's like, you seem to know something, why don't you share? And you can still see that there's the schism between all the Bat family and Batman, because not only does Tim bring up Dick's death, I should say, the Joker situation, but he also brings up the Damian's death and what's going on with the family. But the Joker thing was what caused the big problem, and then Damian's death and Dick's death kind of caused a huge rift in the Bat family. Some nice artwork. So Red Robin's researching into what's going on with the nanobots and the people who've been having this flu. He bumps into Vicky Vale also, who's being chased by a bunch of thugs, because once again, you don't ask questions you're not supposed to. Mm-hmm. Here's the nanobug. So basically, you could see that it's nanobugs anyway, because all the people that are sick, the kids have these, like, the circuitry in their eyes from the nanobots.
I remember that, yeah.
And it turns out that Harper's brother Cullen actually is sick with the nanobots also, and when Red Robin kind of tries to access them to shut them down, he also shuts Colin down, and Colin kind of knocks out because he's infected with the nanobots too. So, in the end, Vicky Vale gets her story. However, somebody finds out that basically they find out. How do I explain this in a
non-spoiling way?
Because of what Vicky Vale revealed in the article, he knows that Bruce Wayne's going to find out, and it was early. A lot of stuff's happening too early. The notice that the Carmine Falcone is back, people shouldn't be talking yet, and now the nanobots, people shouldn't have known about that yet. So little by little, things are coming out too early, so to speak. So I figured this is where the whole war is going to kind of come to a head at some point, that things are going to happen too early, and that's why everything burns by the end of the book, by the end of the series, everything was burning to the ground. Because things screwed up on both ends. Batman messed up, and so did Carmine Falcone, or whatever's going on that's going on. There's something else going on, guys, in the background. We just don't see it yet. That's the important thing, to figure out what that is. Carmine Falcone isn't the only problem. I have a feeling there's something bigger going on in the background beyond Carmine Falcone. So we'll find out about that maybe at some point. But that was Batman Eternal. Now, issue number 1 of 52. Future's End issue 1. We did not get issue 0 yet. It's on the way from Free Comic Book Day. So this issue kind of picks up where issue 0 leaves off. Batman Beyond, Terry, is 5 years in the future from the present DC universe. So it's 5 years later from already.
Is that one of the 5 years later thing that they're...
It sort of is, yeah. The 5 years later stuff is going to be taking place around the time where Terry is now.
I figured that's what Future's End was going towards.
So you only have 3 pages of Batman Beyond. It's basically Terry talking to this computer program in his suit that's Alfred. He fights this thing that came back with him. I'm sure they explain it in issue 0. I don't know yet. I have to read issue 0. Somebody's watching him, or somebody came back from, or somebody's in the 5 years later from the distant future with Terry. But then it goes to, oh god, what are these? Stormwatch. Something happens to Stormwatch. There's a huge explosion, and Stormwatch kind of gets taken out, kind of. You got Grifter, who's killing these aliens. You have Firestorm, who actually, Jason and Ronnie are actually not the best of friends. As a matter of fact, they're almost, I would swear, bitter enemies almost.
Weren't they always enemies?
They were, but it looks like things got worse now. And basically, Jason has to push Ronnie to become Firestorm, and he doesn't want to become Firestorm to help out, because there's a problem. There was a distress signal. Ronnie ignored it. Jason didn't. But you need both of them to make Firestorm. Finally, they make Firestorm. They show up. And I know everybody's been talking about this already.
Whoa.
You didn't read this, did you? So apparently, because of Ronnie, because they were so late, because Ronnie was, as Jason says, selfish and everything, Green Arrow died.
Wait. How
and look, he has the beard now.
How did Green Arrow die?
I don't know, 5 years from now he's going to die.
Well, that is a bit of a shocker. Wow.
So a lot's going on already. I feel like this book kind of went a lot of places.
And I did read half of it. I just wasn't able to read the whole thing.
So what did we get from this book? Batman Terry is 5 years in the future from present day DC. Follow along with me, please. Grifter is killing a bunch of aliens. Stormwatch was shot down out of the sky, and Firestorm, Ronnie is a complete ass, and because of Ronnie, Green Arrow's dead because Ronnie didn't follow the distress call because he was too busy with a woman, and now, yeah, we're going to move from there. There was a lot that happened in this issue. I mean, already off the bat, issue number 1, boom, we have a death. Issue number 1. That is either really, really good, and that means we're going to be getting big, heavy hits like every other issue, or, as the story continues, or this is really bad and they're throwing a lot of stuff out at us at once, and then by the time we get to issue 40, 41, 42, we're going to be like, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Kind of like Batman Zero Year, and we don't want that. We need this to be strong, because this leads into 5 years later in September, and 2 to 1 probably it's going to connect to World's End, and it's also going to probably lead into the next big event that's going to be coming out of DC Comics, whether there be a big event soon or not. So that's it, guys. Would I recommend Future's End? No, absolutely. It's worth a try. Why not? Batman was my second pick of the week. Detective Comics, like I said, is still holding strong. So there's a lot of good books from DC this week. Only Batwing is the one book I actually don't find an interest in anymore, because so much is going on. Sometimes when big things are going on in other books, some other books suffer, and unfortunately and very sadly, Batwing was that book that suffered. And it's not only because of the big events, it's also because of the crossovers, the numerous crossovers. Zero Year Gothopia really hurt the book, and to be honest, it hurt Batgirl too, but Gail Simone kind of bounced back a little bit from it. She bounced back a bit. Now the next story arc looks really, really interesting. The annual wasn't so interesting, so I kind of feel bad I bought that book, because it really was a Birds of Prey book, if you really look at it, so it was a waste. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to the actual Batgirl book when it comes out. I believe it comes out next week. So we'll see where that goes in part 1. And if I don't like it, I'll drop Batgirl 2 for a time. Let things kind of move along a little bit. But with that, guys, that's it for this review. Don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, and Zone4Podcast.com. Together we're your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Don't forget to check back here. We're going to have the Marvel review right after this review. It's going to be coming up right next. And look forward to a bunch of stuff. Comic Frontline, we are doing the Zenescope, annual Zenescope celebration week. It's going on right now. By the time you're watching these videos, it's already day 2. Hopefully we'll get our books and we'll be able to contribute a little bit. We do have a couple of digital books that we might have to read and do a little contributing that way. But beside the point, huge celebration going on. Big things are going to be coming out of this celebration week. So guys, you definitely want to stay tuned to Comic Frontline. It's huge. We planned this kind of really quickly. Next year, I'm sure things will be a lot more planned in advance. But guys, this is going to be a huge week on Comic Frontline. Look forward to the live show tonight. I would say tomorrow, but for us it's Monday. For you, it's Tuesday. So look forward to the live show tonight, and look forward to a bunch of other stuff. So until next time, or until the next review, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you guys in the next review.
Later, guys.